This is Katumba, the refugee settlement in Tanzania that Agrisol told prospective investors was abandoned. There are 70,000 people here and another 60,000 in a nearby settlement. They came decades ago from Burundi and turned this area into productive farmland.
Wazazi wamefika hapa 74. Maji yenyewe yalikuwa hayapo. Yaani ilikuwa maji hapa, huu mto ulikuwa haupo. Sasa wazazi ndio wakaanza kukatakata miti, maana hapa palikuwa na msitu mkubwa sana.
Simbuli Masasa came here with his parents when he was 10 years old. Now he's 49 and has 7 kids of his own. Up the hill from his sugarcane field, he runs a small plant nursery for his neighbors. Today, the Burundian refugees are some of the most productive farmers in Tanzania, producing more than 40% of the food in this district on just 4% of the land. They grow a range of crops from peanuts to pineapples. But if Agrisol develops this land, these fields will be planted with corn and soy. These villages will be leveled, and everyone living here now will have to go. When our reporting team walked through a village market in Katumba, the camera attracted a large crowd, and everyone who talked to us was worried about how they would survive after leaving the settlement.
Huwezi kukuta na kitu chochote kile, unakuwa ni kuanza na moja.
Nearly everyone here was actually born in Tanzania, but they've never had the legal right to call it home. Now, in exchange for leaving Katumba, the government is prepared to grant the refugees citizenship. That decision has been praised internationally. This United Nations video was shot in April 2010 when Tanzania's Minister of Home Affairs visited Katumba to make the announcement.
Effectively, they will have all the rights every Tanzanian who was born a Tanzanian or was naturalized a Tanzanian under different circumstances will have.
At the time, it was greeted with celebration in the settlement. But that was before the refugees knew the details of the government's relocation plan. This 40-year-old community will be broken apart and scattered across Tanzania. Each person will receive $200 to start a new life. The government decides where in the country each family will go and has set quotas to limit how many refugees can settle in any one particular area. According to the government's documents, the refugees are even required to dismantle their own homes before they leave. The only other option is to go back to Burundi, a place most of them have never seen.
Ni sawasawa na vile unavyoona mtu amepanda mti kule amekutana na nyoka kobogo na huku chini kuna maji na mamba yuko chini. Sasa kwa hiyo akingangania mti nyoka tamuuma. Akisema nishukie kwenye maji basi mamba tambeba. Hivyo ndivyo tutakuwa tumekaa sisi kwa masuala hayo.
Although some UN officials privately fought the plan to remove these refugees from their homes, legally speaking, closing the settlements was Tanzania's decision to make. And the government says it's a matter of security. According to Edie Simba, one of Agrisol's Tanzanian business partners, that's where the discussion should end.
That piece of land will be for the company and for agriculture. Now, whether those people will be moved to here or there is not our business, it's for the government.
But the line between the government and the investors is a little blurry. Simba himself is a former top official. And then there's Lawrence Masha, the man you saw in the UN video. Masha was in charge of the refugee camps when the relocation plan was created. Now, he's a legal advisor to Agrisol Energy.
When you displace this population, it raises the issue of where do these people go and farm next.
Anyarata Mittal is the head of the Oakland Institute, That's a California-based non-profit organization dedicated to promoting socially responsible development around the world.
So you're addressing that in the Mozambique report.
Mittal told us she's looked into over 50 African land deals in the past year, and she doesn't have much good to say about any of them, but she singled out the Agrisol project as a particularly egregious example. When we spoke to Agrisol's business partners in Tanzania, they said that what happens to the refugees should not be their concern. What's your response to that?
You know, they cannot get away. In fact, that's actually one of the things I was also told by Mr. Rastetter. Now, you're hoping to make a lot of money by moving into an area where somebody already lives. To put on the entire responsibility and the blame onto the government is extremely irresponsible, especially when the people who are involved in it talk about it being a socially responsible investment.
In June, the Oakland Institute released a scathing report about the Agrisol deal, along with hundreds of pages of internal company documents. How did you get a hold of this material? It was supposed to be company and government, if not secret, certainly not for public view.
Well, I had met with Mr. Rastetter and the Agrisol team. They knew that I was looking for investments that could be showcased, that could be supported, that we could say this is a good way of private sector working in partnership with the government. They knew me as a person who knew many philanthropic organizations, many well-to-do people who want to be involved in projects that result in the good for the community and nations in Africa.
Agrisol was hoping to get her endorsement, but she says that when she saw the details of the project, she felt compelled to make the information public. And Mittal says the problems go far beyond the refugee settlements. One of the documents she released is the agreement that Agrisol signed with local government officials in Tanzania. It is not a final contract, but it shows that Agrisol is planning to pay just 25 cents an acre in rent to the Tanzanian government. Meanwhile, the document suggests that Agrisol has asked the government for a wide range of incentives and concessions, such as building a rail line to one of the project sites. Agrisol is pitching the deal as a way for Tanzania to feed itself. But Mittal was very concerned about a sentence that she found in a study commissioned by the company. It recommends that Agrisol obtain a guarantee from the government that it can export the food it produces.
Agrisol is demanding that the government of Tanzania change its rules, that even if there is food shortages in any of the regions of the country, they should be able to export food. And by the way, that's one of the clauses that most of the foreign investors ask for.
In an email to our investigating team, Rastetter's public relations representative assured us Agrisol will grow food to meet Tanzania's needs first. Although he also said that as infrastructure in the country improves, making it easier to get products to port, quote, the situation may change. He also told us the company will set up a trust where profits from the project will go to schools, medical clinics, and other community needs. And the company has said it will help local small farmers by teaching them new methods and giving them access to advanced seeds and fertilizer. They will be able to grow corn and soy for Agrisol to purchase. Of course, the small farmers at the refugee settlements are being moved out. And the Tanzanian villagers living nearby didn't seem to know much about the pending deal that will supposedly benefit them. We visited one of the villages closest to the land that's been earmarked for Agrisol. The top elected official there told us no one from the company or the government had ever come to talk to him about the project.
Sina uhakika kwa sababu zilishirikishwa, hatujatangaziwa kwamba nayo kilichokuja ni kitu fulani mbele yenu.
If you've got it, watch it. If you don't, call your TV provider to get HDNet today.